So there you go. It's easy to get sidetracked.
Mhm.
Okay, so everybody, this is week 8. And again, I sent you, did you get your things in the post? I mean, in the email, not in the post.
Yeah.
My gosh,
Yeah.
I am so old-fashioned.
There you go.
Can't see. Yeah. Okay, so you've and I mean it's fairly similar to last time, but today we're going to focus a bit more on some different techniques that we can give to the caregivers and the person living with dementia. So and I always teach in my first session after I've done the shared agreed action plan, which, let's just go over what the shared agreed action plan is. It's bringing back the person so that they reminding the whole family that the person is important, the personhood. Going over exercise routines. What do they do? What can they do? Are they able to walk? Yes, we encourage 20 minutes of walking every day. Do they like gardening? Absolutely brilliant. Okay, let's encourage that. If they can only stand, then let's get them a little bench thing where they can garden and potter about. Remembering that the people we generally see are literally like us. They've just been given the diagnoses. It's just that they have noticed that they are forgetting certain things that they perhaps ought to now be remembering, and it can be age related, or it can be they could have got the diagnoses of Lewy body or Alzheimer's. A lot of people wait so long to get their diagnosis that sometimes it's too late for us to really be involved to make too much of an impact. But that's also not true, because we can always do something. However, so it's what the people we see have, as I say, they're there. They can join in with a shared agreed action plan. So it's about exercise. It's the brain health. We talked about that last week, and we'll go over it again today. The brain health exercises that they can do because of the neuroplasticity. And then it's about the food and the soda, and what they are and what they're not consuming sugar wise. Okay, so that's all in the shared agreed action plan, because when the person, all the caregivers, all the family are supporting the person living with dementia so that they can get back to rementia, they're also looking after themselves health wise. Okay, health wise. So it's a whole thing, because if somebody's, it's everybody can join in with playing certain games or whatever. Now, so the breathing, when I am within this, I start giving them some techniques. And I mean, guys, we're all hypnotists. What is one of the ways we can get people into hypnosis is by asking them to focus on their breath. Yeah, it's like breathing in through the nose. Nice deep breath in and out. That's right. And another deep breath in and out, and closing your eyes while you continue to focus on your breath. Okay, so now we're teaching them self-hypnosis. And we also all know that breathing in through your nose, and this is what I do tell all of my clients anyway, it activates the vagus nerve, which is directly linked to the parasympathetic nervous system, so it calms all the organs down. And I know you guys know that, but I'm telling you it because I want you to tell what you know to your people, okay? To the caregivers and the person living with dementia. So because we know it, but people don't know what they don't know. Okay, so we have to, so that's something that we would be explaining to them. Breathing techniques. You'll have your own different breathing techniques. You tell them your breathing techniques. I'm not going to tell you breathing techniques. You do you. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with my breathing techniques. I won't patronize you like that, because you guys already know. And if you know your thing, then obviously you're going to be able to explain that authentically, because it's what you do now probably anyway. Now, self-hypnosis. Again, I know how I teach self-hypnosis. And Gary, do you teach self-hypnosis to your clients?
Very rarely. I would to sports people, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But typically I prefer, or typically I would give them an audio to work with if they want something suggestion done. It was when I did my master, I was doing some research into that areas about sort of tokens and having things. People generally are quite lazy.
Yeah.
And they will not do stuff. Whereas they're more inclined that if you give them something, they're more inclined to stick that on and listen to it than they will actually doing some self-hypnosis. That was what I found.
I agree. I agree. And it's a shame, but I always teach it anyway, because you'll get some people that will do it. Or they just, because maybe they're that way inclined. Which is why I also then always give my own version of mindfulness, because of course I can't say I do. I mean, I can probably teach self-hypnosis or self relaxation, because that's really what it is. Guided meditation, because of course I'm in the state of North Carolina and I can't say hypnosis. But I do, Gary, I always give my version of mindfulness. Carrie Ann, do you teach self-hypnosis?
I also do recordings
Mm-hmm.
because I think it is important. Sometimes they won't even listen to the recordings, so there you go. But they love it. But this is I teach people. This is the way I approach hypnosis. I teach people how their conscious and their unconscious mind are communicating together.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I do. Conscious mind having choice, unconscious mind is, our database. But most importantly, that whatever we're feeling and thinking, the unconscious mind is taking us there. That's what it's acting out and acting toward our most dominant thought and feeling. So whatever those are. So I kind of go through that process with them so that they can begin to use their emotions as their guidance. So their emotions are telling them what they want. And then they have to make a choice about what it is they want. What do I want?
Yeah.
So that's how we get into what do you want? What is it that you want? What are your emotions telling you that you want? So I
Okay.
kind of approach it a little differently. It's just
And you
things
do it the
over
way.
many years that I've
I'm not going
learned.
to tell anybody how to do
I
hypnosis.
know it's
Okay.
just, but
I'm
I
not gonna
always
do that.
do a hypnosis
Mm-hmm.
CD. I do a session, I do a
Mm-hmm.
hypnosis CD. But
Nice.
I'm also using my program now with the biofeedback where I'm
Yes.
sending them that as well.
Yeah.
And so that will pick up the frequencies in their voice and send them a tonal thing that they can really, all they have to do is listen to it for 3 minutes. It's not a long time,
No,
you
no.
know.
So Carrie Ann has an extra little gadget.
Yeah,
Right.
I have a new gadget.
so so this is now again, we know that if we can give them just something small to start with, I think,
Yeah,
and then so that's
simple.
the first session, so that you're doing, so they can get used to your voice and how you do it, and whether it's, and I, as I say, this is what I do. I do a small version of mindfulness. First of all, it's about, but it goes on for like, I don't know, 6 7 minutes, but it's just bringing, it's just, as well, we all know, it's just lowering all the where's my little snow globe. It's oh,
Oh,
here it is. I always like to use my little snow globe. Okay, it's just, you know it's just like, because that's how people are, and then it just brings it all back down,
mhm.
and they enjoy it, they like it, and it's like, oh, that's nice. And
Right.
they'll record that, and then as you, because it's only short, like less
Mhm.
than 7 minutes, they're more likely to do it. And they've got the recording, Gary, you're quite right, because they will probably do it if it's recording,
Right.
because that is what people are like, you know
Yeah, and as Carrie Ann used to say, I mean, I used to send CDs, but now I send them MP3s they can listen to on their phone.
Yeah, I know. Can
So,
do it so much easier. I have such great equipment. I had a tech person that I was working with, and I said, I don't know, I really need, maybe you can help me out. learn how to do, a little
So I just
computer. And he said, I wouldn't do it. He says, you're never going to get that sound that you get from your recording equipment. So I don't know. I've been kind of
you stuck with it. Well, you know what? Again, you do you. You do you. Okay.
I did have a funny story on that. It was about 18 months ago. I worked with this old lady. It wasn't for dementia, but I had this old lady, and I said, "Oh, I said I'll send you, something to work with, a hypnosis recording." And I said I can send you. I said at the time I did it both ways. I said I can send it as an audio that I said you can listen to on your mobile phone. And she said I don't have a mobile phone. And I said okay. I said, or a computer? No, I don't have a computer. And I said, well, I can send it as a CD for you to listen to on a CD player. And she said, oh, I haven't got one of those. Can I have a cassette? And I said, no, it's going to take so long.
Going way back. I know.
That's even further back. I know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is what I do. I will record my voice in this, and I'll have my other little iPad with my music, and it's good enough. It's just good enough. And it seems to do the trick. So I used
phone.
No, yeah, I use voice memos.
Wow.
Here, let me find one. So we'll record it.
Voice.
It's not memos.
I vary. Sometimes if I'm doing a session with somebody on Zoom, the Zoom audio's good enough.
Yeah,
If
I do that.
Yeah, if I do it, if I'm in a clinic, I've got a little portable 4-track recorder that I take with me. And not that I get time nowadays, but if I want to do something really properly, I do. Well, in fact, it's full of rubbish. I do have a very professional studio in my basement here. So I got 30, I got a 32-track desk. I got valve microphones, all sorts of stuff.
Oh, another gadget, man. There we go. So you see, I don't know if you can hear that.
I don't know if I can see. I can't see it.
No. Why isn't it even playing? Oh, it's because that's in. Hang on. Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, now it's recording me. Do you know, I'm sorry. It's so funny, isn't it? I am so sorry. That's when I do that. But when I'm actually going to play something, I have to take that out. That's right. I'm just allowing your eyes to feel comfortably closed now while you listen to the sound of my voice. And that's good enough.
Yeah.
So that is
what was the app or the program?
It's the little black one. If we get it all with our iPhones, has everybody got iPhones?
Yeah.
So it's black.
I don't have an iPhone. I have Android.
Oh, I don't know then.
I wonder what that would be.
Yeah,
you'll have to look up.
You could do that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was gonna say it's not
voice thing.
I mean,
with it.
Yeah, GarageBand we could also do if you wanted to integrate music with it. You could use GarageBand.
Yeah, I used to do this CD as well. I used to do Audacity.
Yeah, I know. I've got Audacity on my PC. I actually I use Logic on the Apple.
But my laptop now doesn't even have a disc thing.
No, they don't
nowadays. I can't even.
Yeah. When I get to upgrading my Mac and stuff, I shall go back to using Logic in the studio.
So yeah, so it's you're gonna have to find your thing. And again, for anybody who's listening to this,
if you're with someone else at someone else's house, you need something portable.
Yeah,
you need to use your phone or something.
Yeah, that's why I just use my phone.
I've got
and then I email it to them.
And then you share it. You share the program. You download the program and share it, or
yeah, I email it to them or messenger it. Yeah, because it records it, and you can just share it to them straight away, and then they use that. I do that with my clients.
This is a little bit out of date now.
It's too difficult for myself.
So the little microphone hooks into your.
I have this. It's it's a little 4-track recorder.
Yeah, I've seen these too.
Called a Zoom. That'll run on battery or power, and it's 4-track. So you can
Yeah,
dial
with the
things on
boom.
it as a 4-track
That would,
recorder.
yeah,
Oh, you
I've
go
seen those
fancy.
too.
I haven't.
Well,
I really make things as simple as possible for me.
Possibly. Yeah.
Um,
I've
there is,
I've had this longer than I've had an iPhone,
oh,
so
okay. There is, but there's the saying, kiss, keep it simple, sweetheart.
I
And
like
that,
it.
and that applies to most things. Because
I like it.
if it's too difficult, I won't do it. Which we go back to, if doing self-hypnosis is too difficult for them, they won't do it. So that's why we give a recording, because we know what people are like. Okay. And people are people. So some will, some won't. Again, so what? But if we can give them that, then that's brilliant. Doing that every day will keep them calm. We can give them that. Okay. That is what we're giving in the first session.
Yeah.
So that's all in the first session when we're doing it. And every subsequent session, you will do that. Okay, so that's again, and there's I mean, there's lots of things we can do within the hypnosis. It's quite interesting, you know, because we know what we can do. I mean, there's the whole thing of like taking them back to how they used to feel, you know, a time when you felt strong, a time when you felt you know, really enthusiastic about life, a time when you felt full of purpose, and you can bring that back with you. You know, you can anchor those feelings in. There's all sorts of things we know we can do. So it's you know, and of course you said, Carrie-Anne, what do they want? What do they want? So every time you go, what do you want? What do you want today? How you know, what can we help with today? What would you like to change today? Well, right now I'm getting frustrated because I keep I don't know, maybe getting angry about something. I keep thinking there's a scary, you know, that lamp during the day, at nighttime, I keep thinking it's something, you know, a bad man. So it's like, okay, so you know, again, tell me more. What would you like it to be instead? You know, we ask them questions. Okay, we can do that. We can also encourage that maybe different lights are on, or different, you know, that the big overhead lights go on when the nighttime starts to come in. You know, just other little things to help them. Giving them a word. You know, I was talking to this with Beryl actually about. Hey, have any of you managed to watch that recording I did with John yet? No,
I
it was
apologize.
Jack. I think it was called Jack.
I will. I will this week. I apologize, but it was hard. I don't know what that particular thing was kind of making me dizzy when I watched it. So that's kind of clearing away now. So I think I should be fine.
Okay. Again, it's just an hour, but it was week 6, I think. I can't remember.
Right.
I think it was week 6. So we and I was talking to Beryl about this, because what he wanted to know was, can we anchor it? You know, not necessarily, he didn't use the word anchor. Is there a hypnotic suggestion that we can give to people so that they will always, so that they can then, I don't know, get back to them, or, you know, instead of reverting into some kind of behavior that is unwanted. So it's about, and I was talking to Beryl about this, and she was going, oh yes, because I was telling about the zippity doo dah and this other one, you know, I was telling him about the bunny talk and what have you. And she said, with one of my clients, she was telling them always, that anytime they say always, because they used to watch Monty Python. And so then it's always look on the bright side of life, you know, and it's like, so it's like, okay, great. So as soon as the caregiver or the would say always, then they would be able to break into that. Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
So that's really nice. So the stuff we can do, and that's why, of course, what we get so curious with them in that first time we're with them. What do they like? What are their likes? What are their dislikes? But what are their likes, really? That's what we really want to know. so that we can anchor those sorts of things in. Again, of course, we know that breath work, of course, is important. The games, I think we discussed that last time. I did get my little sheet out for everybody. And I'm sure I've got this on I will email this to you all, because I've got it as a little PDF thing or whatever. I've got it. But some of the brain health coaching exercises that we can do, you know, and because I'm going to send this to you, but we've got like Monday, learn a new word, learn how to spell it, learn its definition. I'm going to send all this to you, so you don't need to write it. On a Tuesday, learn a limerick until you can say it without looking. Wednesday, use your non-dominant hand for 5 or 10 minutes. Now that is an interesting one. And it's a great one that we can, if there's family around, you can actually get the children involved as well. And then it makes it all fun because, hey kids, see if you can write with your left hand or your, you know, right hand, whatever it is. And it's fun, you know, to see if you can write this sentence. And the more they do it, the better they get. But that is building again the neural pathways. Okay. Sure. So that's what we're after. That is what we're all about with this one. Okay. When we're doing this kind of thing, the brain health techniques, it's about rebuilding, because the brain, there's neuroplasticity, and it's about rebuilding those neural pathways. So say on a Thursday, dress with your eyes closed. Again, if you've got you know, there's the two of you, you can make it fun. It's then good for the person who, say, hasn't been diagnosed with dementia. Because if they're both of a certain age, then they may be in just stage 1 or 2 anyway themselves, because we just all will be, you know. You've seen it on here. Myself, I'm forgetting certain things here and there, you know. It happens. Okay. So Friday, learn the name of, oh my gosh, I don't think I'd like to, there you go. Learn the name of 6 aircraft. Okay. Ships, flowers, mushrooms, something that they don't know. So it could be birds, it could be dinosaurs. Get interested in something else, you know. So, and the best way to do that, often I find, if you want to learn something, go to the children's library. A child's library, the books there are so much easier to read and explain it so much better than an adult one, somebody trying to get their PhD. So it's like, because it makes it, you know, and then that's all they need to know it at, you know, the Brontosaurus, the Stegosaurus, the Triceratops, you know, is they plant eating or meat eating, you know, that sort of thing. I love dinosaurs. I was so pleased when I had 2 boys, because then I got to do boy toys. They're so much more fun than girl toys. So
I have boys too. I know.
Yeah, they are though, aren't they? Cars and, you know. Right, Saturday. So we'd read a paragraph on a subject you know absolutely nothing about. There'll be plenty for me to go at. And then Sunday, read a newspaper, magazine, or a short story. Again, keep on the reading. People, you'll be surprised that people, they may forget sort of, I don't know, forget certain things. They can still read, which is why I've just got my post-it notes here. And yellow post-it notes around the house. Absolutely brilliant, because yellow, you can't miss it. Yeah, bright yellow. It's something you'll see, and your eyes go to it. So it's like, you know, I've got with one of my clients at the moment, I've got be kind on it. So, and that's for both of them. So it's so always remind them to get and have some yourself, so that you can write certain things for them. So it's like, that's always really useful to have yellow post-it notes. And you know, again, you will all create your own sheet, or you can add more. I mean, goodness me, you can Google it, whatever. I do put the exercise on here. This is again with all within the shared agreed action plan. You may have got one of these. I may have given one of these out actually at the HTL. I think I was giving these out as well then. Walking 20 minutes a day, adding in weights. Isn't it interesting? Weights are really good for the brain. Okay, didn't have to be heavy weights. I'm not talking about heavy weights, but even if it's a can, you know, a tin can, everybody's got beans in their cupboard. and if they can, you know, if they can put it above their head, okay, because generally then they'll be looking up, and when we're looking up, it can only be a good thing. It's better than looking down. Okay, so looking up. And we encourage the Mediterranean style diet. I have to tell everybody I'm not a dietitian, you know, to be very careful. We're not prescribing, because we don't prescribe. I mean, it's like, can't even prescribe water, but we can, you know, sort of like recommend it. And of course, you know, I've got on here that if they do want to drink alcohol, Cabernet Sauvignon is the best one, because it's got the right flavonoids in it. Adding blueberries, dark chocolate, as long as the dark chocolate is over 79%. Turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon a day. Does anybody here use turmeric?
Only in curries.
Do you and you can add it in scrambled eggs. It's quite nice.
Right.
Do you use turmeric, Carrie Ann?
I use it in a tablet form. I do Curamin. I really don't like those flavors.
Oh, spicy. Yeah.
I don't, yeah. I don't like turmeric or some of the more Indian spices. Those are kind of Indian food spices. I'm not a favor of them. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter, because the fact is you still know it's good for you, so you're taking it in tablet form.
That's
It
right.
doesn't matter. There's no turmeric police, you know. Of course, oily fish we encourage, omega-3s. Now, coconut oil is an interesting one, okay, because it can cause diarrhea. So they have to add it in really slowly, and you can add a little bit into somebody's coffee if they have coffee, if they like it, because you can't taste it. It's actually tasteless. Do encourage coconut oil to be cooked for cooking. I mean, it literally is a solid white, but of course it dissolves in the pan, you know. So whatever they're doing, whether it's you know, cooking things in the oven even, but a stir fry, encourage the coconut oil. So yeah, that's and that's about it. And it always cut out sugar as much as possible. So I'll be sending you that PDF. I know we won't bully you anymore, Gary, about your Coke.
Oh, I love my Coke. There you go.
Well, I might a little bit. As he's having a sip. Do you know that? Do you know what that's like? Have your little finger out. Oh dear. I'll do as I want, or do, and you'll be saying, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, hypnosis, the guided meditation or hypnosis, whatever you're able to call it, it's so good for so many things. And you can do a recording for nighttime if you want to help them if they're having difficulty going to sleep. Again, and encouraging you know, the connection between maybe the couple, remembering things they've done, and that's quite nice. So, you know, it's just about what did you both like to do? Well, we used to do this all the time, so maybe you can build that in. You know, that's why we ask them questions. What do they want? And you can build that in. As like I say, I'm not going to tell you how to do hypnosis. You will know. You've been doing it for longer than I have, so I'm not going to tell you what to do. So yeah, any questions on any of that? What would you if you know, when we were thinking about doing hypnosis with somebody, when you take them into hypnosis, Gary, with your clients living with cancer,
Mhm.
do you do a muscle relaxation?
Yeah, yeah, totally. For unless I'm doing an emergency intervention, you know, they're in a panic attack or something like that. If I'm doing general stuff with them, then yes, it would be a progressive muscle relaxation induction.
Yeah. And Carrie
For a
Ann, what?
first session, I might, if I'm then doing some treatment work, other sessions, I might do an Elman if we need something quicker. But always a first session, which I call a stabilization session, always progressive muscle relaxation.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Stabilization.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
nice.
that's my keyword in my course. So I say the first session, my keyword is stabilize.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, we can
Good.
pinch
That's
that.
Yeah, I say you can't work on a patient. You know, you don't pile in doing regression and all this other stuff unless you have a stabilized patient. So I always say first session, key thing, stabilization.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I might add in a control room after I've done the stabilization, because that's generally quite okay as well. And so Carrie Ann, do you do the permissive
I do a progressive relaxation.
aggressive? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So I think that in my opinion, I think that is to be encouraged with people living with a neurocognitive disorder, because it's gentle.
Mhm.
And it's probably a kind way to go into hypnosis.
Yeah.
Now, that's not for every single person who'll be listening to this. If you are a person who doesn't like that at all, and you want to take somebody into hypnosis much quicker, then you do however you do it. You know, it's I'm not going to go around telling everybody how to do their hypnosis. However, that's I personally think it's the to be encouraged, the progressive relaxation with somebody living with a neurocognitive disorder, because it's more gentle, you know, which is again why I do the havening as opposed to lots of eye movements and things, because touch is just so lovely. And it's yeah, so that's what we can do. Now, I don't know what any of you do for trauma work. Gary, I know you've learned eye movements with me with the bunny talk. What do you use? Do you see people for trauma work, Carrie Ann?
Sometimes like PTSD and that type of thing, but I like the havening as well. And I teach a lot of bilateral stimulation. I have a little grab my ball here. Little ball, and we just do this type of thing back and forth. And that's something that they could play with.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do. Whatever they've got, a rock, and then they follow it and they do a pass off. And yeah, absolutely. So I think we all know that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a nice one. I like I say, I like the havening. So I think those are really good. I try to teach little tricks like that, and people like that.
Yeah.
They do use those kinds of things.
Yeah, mine do. They use mine clients use the havening, and you know, it's just like just even stroking down, and that's because I actually then use it because I'm a you know, a certified havening practitioner, so they can use the stuff to actually pop off the traumatic bits, because it's like, but no matter what.
Now, what do you do as a practitioner? You do that? You're touching them and
I can't, well,
or
remember, not everybody likes to be touched.
Yeah.
You know, some people don't like to be touched.
Yeah.
Some people don't like massage. So we find out. So I became an ordained minister. You're an ordained minister, Gary.
Yeah.
And you're in the state of Arizona, so it's fine. But so that I could touch them if I had their permission. And so for me, it's really important about getting rid of any significant emotional events, the bad ones. We don't want to get rid of, because they wouldn't be wanting to get rid of a good significant emotional event like a wedding or the birth of their child. But it's the ones that are upsetting. So we get rid of those. And this is why it's so helpful if we can see people at the beginning of their journey, because sadly, if they go too far down the line and they're in a home and say they had been abused, or even not necessarily been abused, because do you know what? I'm not being funny, but Gary, if you were in a hospital bed, all right, and somebody, and you say you're just as you are now, a nurse came in, pulled back the covers and started washing your bottom, what would you do?
Smile, probably, but
I didn't hear what he said.
Sorry, I shouldn't have asked you. That's hilarious. All right.
I missed that. I'm going to have to watch the recording or something.
I said, what would he do if somebody started washing his bottom? And he said, smile, probably. Okay, right. Put my hand up.
That's good. That's
Well, I'd hit them. Okay. It would be like, what are you doing? But you'd react. Yeah.
Right.
Smile. Now I'm gonna have the giggles. All right. So but Carrie Ann, we wouldn't like it, would we?
No.
If somebody we didn't know came in and did that.
Right.
So now can you imagine that you may wake up, you may even still be asleep, but because they're doing the rounds of having to wash, they're on a schedule, they're busy, they come in, they may even just wake you up, they pull the covers back, know they've got to wash you, wash, and you're like, oh my God, and you don't even know what being washed is.
Right.
You don't know who this is.
Right.
And and already we know that people who are in dementia, their amygdalas like this anyway, all right, it's on fight, flight, freeze. Well, now they're like this, somebody's washing, they're naked, washing it. I bet it's not even nice warm water, there's no towels, there's no whatever, it's just like, well, I think I'd hit them. Yeah. Now you are a bad patient, and because you're aggressive, and so now they then have to hold you down. All right.
Gosh.
Yeah. And so you're restrained. Oh no, they're a bad one, they hit us. Oh right, well we better put them on psych meds. Probably got about a month to live after that.
Yeah.
If you're on psych meds. Okay. So, because when you're going to wash somebody, it takes time. And this is why when we're with our clients, that's why I give time. That's why I do give time, 2 hours. There's no rush. Everything's nice and slow at their pace. And because when people rush, we get agitated. Okay.
Exactly.
So everything's nice and slow. And we encourage, but we don't see people who say need washing. Okay. They're already in the homes, but we just need to know that actually it's a thing. And that the best way for somebody to be washed, because if ever you get asked by somebody, you need to know. And so this is what we encourage people. Hello, my name is so and so, and or it's I don't know, say grandma, it's me, hi, I've come to wash you. Is that okay? Are you ready? Do you feel like it right now? No. Okay. When we've once we've washed you, then we'll sit down and watch a James Bond film. How's that? Okay. All right. So now, because sometimes you might be on a bit of a schedule, but now you've got to put in something a little bit, fun that they might like to do, that they may even forget. But right at that moment in time, okay, let's get washed. So now they're getting washed. I've got lots of towels here, nice warm water. And let's start at your face. Yeah. So you start washing people with their face. And then you gradually work down. And you give people the benefit of having nice, warm, cozy towels around them so that they don't feel vulnerable. Because this is why people go into the fight, flight, freeze, because we feel vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And that's why all of that is so important. Sadly, there are so many care homes, and it's so sad. You could be paying $5,000 a week, and they still don't get that good care.
Yeah.
It's criminal.
It is.
Now, the reason why I'm asking you about do trauma work is because maybe the family doesn't have $5,000 a week. So maybe they feel as though they have to look after so-and-so, the person. Now, what if they don't like them? So they have to, out of duty, because there's nothing else. Well, maybe we might like to get them to a place of indifference about that person. And we all have that ability to do that with whatever way you know how, so that they don't mind caring. And that's why we can help. So it's not necessarily, maybe we can't help the person living with dementia anymore, but maybe now we're helping the person, the caregiver. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because so many people, have to. Well, how about if we can get them to get to? Wouldn't that be nicer?
Yeah.
So, and we have the ability to do that, because we can help people to feel indifferent about certain, say, past relationship things that have gone wrong. And so they don't mind, so that it's about then they get to. Okay? They get to do that. And that, I think, can only be, more welcome, really. Because the person who is the caregiver, or as I spoke to somebody today, the care partner, which I think is a much nicer way of saying it than caregiver, the care partner is the co-regulator. I think I've said this before. There's a lot of I'm going to repeat, because that's okay, because the more I say things, obviously the more it's going to stick. Because it is, there's overlaps in everything. So the care, they are the co-regulator. The care partner, caregiver, is the co-regulator. If they dislike the person they're having to look after, and they're like, oh, morning, all right, what do you want? What do you want for, the whole tone of their voice? It's like, and now the person who's there has got dementia. Oh my gosh, who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? And this person is doesn't like me. That's horrible, isn't it? And they've even forgotten what they did to make the person not like them. That happens all the time. It's really sucky. Yeah. And maybe they were a really, really horrible person. Maybe they were. However, how about if we can help that person who is the care partner, the caregiver, be a little bit more upbeat, because they are indifferent now about what that person may or may not have done to them. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, we have the ability to do that. So it's and that's my mission, really, is to actually help people always with trauma. Okay, with significant emotional events, feelings. So and it goes along with the dementia journey, because I believe we can make a difference there, a big difference, so that people are less fraught if somebody's coming to wash them. Instead, they would be going, oh, I don't like this very much, instead of, oh my gosh, what's happening, and smack, and and then be put on psych meds. So yeah, I think that's what we can do. Okay, we can help people just go, or where they say the caregiver wakes up in the morning and goes, oh, I've got to go and do all this, but instead of going, oh gosh, I've got to go, oh God, it's like that, and then doing everything like that all day long, which ultimately will kill them as well, the stress like that, instead of just going, oh yeah, but just get on with it, and how can I make this bit more brighter for both of us? That's what we will encourage. That's what we can do. Okay, is that any questions on any of that, Gary?
I'm good.
You'll have the same as that possibly with people living with cancer. It's like you've still got sometimes the caregiver. It's like, oh, now I can't get out. I see this, the wanting to get divorced, and then suddenly the partner goes and gets cancer. Now they can't leave them because now they've got to look after them. Actually, they really want to divorce them because they're so horrible. It's like, and that's a tough one. This happens all the time for people. So, we have a job to do to help people, and we all have the ability to do that, to make it less horrifying, say, for them, because as we said right at the beginning, somebody gets a diagnosis, whatever it may be, and the roller coaster of emotions that they will have, and we can be there to support them, and give them techniques, strategies, and breathe.
Yeah. Claudia, when you're there with the person, obviously, you're working with the person, but the caregiver, are you working with them at the same time a little bit, or do you work with them separately to
Yeah, so
help
very good
them?
question. Very good question.
Yeah.
So if my person who is so my client is the person living with dementia.
Yeah.
And then the caregiver, so it's a family thing. It's about the person living with dementia. That is my client. If the caregiver needs to see me, they'll have to come for a different session. They have to come to my office.
Okay.
To help them get rid of their issues. And it is difficult because sometimes there's a lot of talking over people. So sometimes I just have to, I don't know, do it covertly, or do it, call them up and have a conversation over the phone.
Oh, okay.
Or email them, or just say some other stuff. It's yeah, it can be a little bit difficult, or if one of them goes to the bathroom, hopefully the person with dementia goes to the bathroom, then you can talk to them a bit and say stuff, and have that other conversation. But yeah, you're going to be on the end of the phone. I always offer it. I'm here if you need me, because sometimes I have to say, they say, well, he's, they're not doing it. And I've said, well, say Claudia says you need to. So blame it on me, blame it on me. Don't blame it on you. And same, we can do that, well, the doctor says, or blame it on somebody else. Don't take the blame. Just say, well, the doctor says this. And we're not doctors, but if the doctor says something, blame it on somebody else. Don't take the blame. You got to live with it. Anything. I mean, I know there might be a bit of manipulation. There might be a bit of lying. It's called white lies, to be kind, and it's called manipulation for for the best. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's called life. But it's for an easier journey, because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's, you know, we have to really understand that, because we're not in it day in, day out. They are.
Yeah.
You're only dipping into it for a bit here and there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And, you know, Gary, you'll have people with dementia now, and they've also got cancer. You will get more and more people like that. And the cancer may get them first. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it'll be a combination of the two. So there'll be a lot of overlap for you. You'll have clients already, and all the tools that you're getting here will actually probably, you'll be going, oh, okay, I can use that bit. I can just use, I can tweak, you know, that I can just tweak it here. There'll be something I'll that we'll have covered that you'll just add in, by the nature of it, by the sheer nature of it. So I will put out what we're going to do next week. I'm going to stop there because we're after time, and I know we talked a little bit about conferences first of all. I hope you feel better, Carrie Ann. I'm going to stop there for this week.
I am feeling better.